So can sensitive men still be masculine, still be in their masculine energy? Because this is this is something I really struggled with for many years. Honestly, my entire life. Because society tells us, masculine, right? What is that? Masculine energy. What do people mean when they say masculine energy, right? You ask anyone, 99.9% of people, they're gonna either look at you like they don't know, they'll start talking about it, but like the deep down, they really don't know what it is, or they're gonna give off a bunch of character attributes. Like, what are some of the common ones we hear with masculine energy, right? Assertive, leadership, doesn't take crap from anyone, aggressive, you know, especially in the workplace, cutthroat, right? I mean, there's, pick a quality, right? Like it's been described. Like people want to take masculine energy and make it their own, right? But if you look down to the very root core of it, that's just like not what it is in the slightest. And what I mean by that is if you go and look at ancient Hindu texts and these ancient religions that have been around since humans have walked the planet, they talk about it in a very, very different way, in a much more evolved way. In America, in the Western world, the reason that it's talked about in the way it's talked about is because spiritually and esoterically, like, America and Western world, I mean, we're still in our infancy as far as these spiritual tendencies. We got all the money and the power, and go to a third world country, you'll see, man, it's just very different living. So we have all the toys, right? But it's just not as evolved because we haven't been around that long, and it just takes time. It's not like a better or worse thing. It's just the time. So sensitive men, what's a sensitive man, right? Heck, I mean, I was describe myself for most of my life, right? Just naturally a lot more reserved, quiet, able to pick up on subtle energies around me. And so that naturally, I think, gave me a lot more compassion and empathy. But of course, like that's just always stepped on because men aren't supposed to be sensitive and empathetic and compassionate and overly kind. You got to be stoic and kind of a douchebag in a lot of ways. This is just what society tells us. And so you have this image of what a man is supposed to be like, masculine man, right? They're usually extroverted, really confident, assertive, aggressive. They take charge. They're in charge of the group, leader of men. That was a term they used to throw around in the pickup community way back in the day when I was a part of that. It's a long time ago, man. Because I was trying to find the answers, and for a while I thought those guys had the answers, but I, moved past that, thank God. And so some men fit that description of those character attributes of like masculine energy, and some don't. Most don't. The vast majority don't. So what happens to the vast majority of the men that don't? Well, they're left trying to fit into this category and trying to be, most of the time, become something they're not. Okay? Because we're under the idea that masculine energy means certain character attributes, when in reality, it just doesn't. Look it up. So, like, if you go look at these ancient Hindu, gods and texts and scriptures, they're idea of masculine and feminine energy is very different. Okay, now what is it? Okay. In one sentence, I'll give you an exercise. Like, in one sentence, can you describe masculine and feminine energy without giving any sort of character attributes? I couldn't for the longest time until it really clicked in me. You know, masculine energy is the energy of containment. Feminine energy is the energy of manifest. Now, what do I mean by that? This is why they call it Mother Nature, right? Feminine energy is movement, it's life, it's up and down, it's twists and turns, it's storms, it's calm, it's the color, it's the vibrancy, it's life and death, right? It's the manifest energy that we see in this world. It's the energy that moves, right? It's just everything. That's where the color, the depth, and the vibrancy come from. Women are naturally a lot more predisposed to this than men are, right? We all have each inside of us. Now, masculine energy is the energy of containment. Masculine energy is what holds the space for the feminine energy to exist. So if feminine energy was the painting itself, the color, the vibrancy, the strokes, right, gives it the life, masculine energy is the canvas, holds space for the canvas. Okay. Now, when you look at masculine and feminine energy from this lens, it really changes a lot of things, because now you're not trying to fit yourself in these boxes of, well, I'm really, if you're just the type of guy that's naturally really quiet and calm and reserved and laid back, and you're told that you need to be super extroverted and loud and taking charge of everything constantly all the time and have this engulfing energy about you, then that's going to be really hard, because one, it's impossible to maintain, and two, like, you're just being something you're not. So it's never going to work out. But if you just kind of realize, like, masculine energy has nothing to do with that, it has everything to do with the space inside of you that's holding everything, you can begin to cultivate that. And as sensitive and quiet, more reserved men, that is so much easier to do, because you're naturally predisposed to look inside and be introspective. I mean, that's why sensitive, quiet, more reserved men are like that. I mean, it's how God made you. It's how the Creator made you, man, for those exact reasons. And when I really realized that, started turning my energy and my attention inward as opposed to constantly outward, it really changed things for me. It did. I started to really feel more grounded, hold that space a lot easier. And naturally, I started to understand women a lot better as well, because, man, yeah, girls have it hard. They have it hard in this society, man. I think some of the best compliments, like something to think about, right? Like, when you're around women and you hear them talk and stuff, sometimes they'll talk about the guys that they're dating or interacting with or whatever they're doing, right? And they'll say, "Oh, he just makes me feel really safe. I just feel so safe around him." You ever wondered why that is? It's because she can feel free to express the the sometimes calm and sometimes very chaotic sides of her in all of her essence. And energetically, the guy's unmoved, right? Doesn't get intertwined with it. You just hold space for it. Okay? If you can figure out how to cultivate that in yourself, you're gonna begin to step into the true essence of who you are as a man, masculine energy. All right? Hope everyone has a great day.